I spent over $15,000 on courses, coaches, and mentors. But one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned from them is not how to scale an online business. It's not the latest marketing hack. It's not another secret strategy. The most valuable lesson that I've learned from them is how to create a vision for my life. In 2020, I created a vision for my life, and 2 years later, I've been able to experience time and location freedom while doing what I love in my business every single day. So I decided to put together this video where I share my 5-step life vision system. This system has transformed my life and my income, and I'm confident it can do the same for you as an entrepreneur. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan to create a life and business you truly want. Now, before I dive into the system, I want to clarify the problem you are going to solve today. Because some of you might think, vision and goals, I've already heard about this. I've read the mindset books. I even have set goals. What new do you have to offer? Most entrepreneurs lack clarity in their lives and businesses. This is not an assertion that I'm just making. I've conversed with many entrepreneurs and advised many, and I've seen a lot of patterns. This is also nothing to do with how much money you are making in your business or how successful you are financially. It doesn't matter if you're a 7-figure entrepreneur, 6-figure entrepreneur, a starting entrepreneur. If you don't truly know what you want in your life in all aspects and your business, if you can't say, this is for certain what I want, then what happens is this general lack of clarity manifests itself in other areas of your business. You might have problems with focusing for a long time. Maybe you have problems with distractions. You have all these opportunities, shiny objects. You can focus properly. You have uncertainty on your business strategy. Maybe you want to pivot because you see a new opportunity. Like, you're generally in this fuzzy area. You're kind of successful. You're maybe at 10K a month or more, but it's a lot of internal chaos, lack of certainty, lack of clarity. Now, if the situation describes you, there's no shame in admitting that. I've been there before. I know how it feels. And I know exactly what is going on if this situation describes you, okay? And there's no shame in that, because knowing what you truly want, your purpose, direction, is a universal problem. This is, if you go deeper into philosophy, this is like deep existential questions. But they are solvable. Maybe you have tried vision boards, affirmations, journaling, and all of those things. And I'm not saying they don't work. I've been 7 years into self-mastery, personal mastery. I've tried many modalities, and I've also incorporated in my 5-step vision system those modalities. But the current problem, like YouTubers or other, let's say, mindset coaches, performance coaches, is they have typically shallow solutions to this problem. They maybe say, do a vision board or set SMART goals, but those things don't give you sustained results, because as entrepreneurs, we want certainty. We want to have a certain kind of a control in our lives. We want to know what we really want. Imagine if you truly know what you want. I'm not saying your goals can change, but if you're certain on where you're heading in your business and in your life, how much more energy, how much more focus, how much more like ease, happiness would you experience? For me, that's a no-brainer. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the specifics. Now I'm going to be very tactical. I'm going to suspend a lot of like the theory and philosophy behind it. I can make a future video if you want more depth or why I've structured the system that way. Also, I want to say you can recreate this exact document by the end of this video. So follow through, and then you'll able to get the same clarity, conviction on your life and business. So what we're looking at here is a 5-page document that is systematically sequenced to solve the problem that we've talked about before. As you can see, there are only 5 pages, and it is very simple. Now, the first page acts like a cover page. This is the typical vision board, aspirational board, but with a key twist. When you have a vision, especially as an entrepreneur, you tend to be ambitious, which is natural, and you tend to set big goals and big aspirations. I think you intuitively know this. We have to become a new person. This is an identity-based vision board. What you want to think about is the people that already are there, or people that have certain qualities and traits, and you want to emulate or model some aspects of them. Practically speaking, what this means is what I've done in one of my previous versions of my vision is I knew that I wanted to have an international business that is very impactful long term. And I knew that I had some intellectual goals, which I won't declare here publicly because it's private, and other things like health goals, some spiritual goals. And I thought about, okay, which people do I look up to? Which people do have certain qualities and traits that I can emulate? And I come up with people, as you can see. Some of them are Plato, Socrates, Carl Jung, Nikola Tesla, and some modern thinkers like Naval Ravikant. Now, feel free to choose whoever you want. You can choose business people, scientists, philosophers. There is no right or wrong, okay? The goal with the first page is it acts like a vision board. It's like, okay, this is kind of who I want to become. There are all these people that I kind of like and that have achieved something big, and I like certain qualities of them. So how you design the page is up to you. But I found it very effective to put a picture, an image of you in the middle because it's your vision, and then just paste in people and symbols that just inspire you. Now, the first page is like a book cover. The goal with this is to evoke some emotions. However rational you and I think we are still emotional beings. And we know from the brain, from neuroscience, that the brain is highly visual. I guess you have heard the saying that one picture says more than 1,000 words, and it is quite literally true. And we can leverage this. This is not about facts. Here you are thinking about where you want to go and really mold and sculpt your identity. Let's move on to the second page. Here we get more specific. This is about your lifestyle. Here you want to really answer those questions. What kind of business do I want to have in 3 to 5 years with no limitations? Where do you want to live? For example, here I put together like an example lifestyle vision. This is not exactly mine, but one could say I want to live in Dubai, specifically maybe in the marina, in a penthouse. Okay, one could also specify the apartment, how it would look like. You look for pictures in Google, Dubai, marina, penthouse, and then you insert those pictures in. This is the classic vision board thing. But what I want you to recommend is to really block off one day in your business and dedicate to your lifestyle vision. The reason for it is it's very easy when we are in our current environment to let negative thoughts and limitations creep in. I think a few people can really sit in their office and imagine and think and visualize and strategize like the perfect lifestyle in 3 to 5 years without like having some influences that are just limiting you. So go to an inspirational place, maybe even a coffee shop if that's like what is feasible right now, and really think about your life, because this is your life and business. What will the ideal lifestyle look like? There are no facts. This is not a place for realistic thinking. So what experience do you want to have? How will your relationship look like? Do you want to have kids? How does your wife look like? Where do you want to live? Etc. I think you get the point. Now, with that in place, once you truly know what you want in life and business, we get more specific. This is where logic, rationality, and mathematical precision comes in. Now, the general framework when it comes to goal setting as an entrepreneur is to first segment your life into 4 to 5 areas maximum. For example, business, health, family and relationships, skill development, personal development, spiritual development, whatever you want to call it. The reason why we do this is to simplify our life. Once you know what you want to achieve in every area of your life, you want to think of it from this frame of mind. Assuming we are planning our year or yearly goals, you think of what is the one goal, one big goal that will put me closer to my vision and ideal lifestyle. So in business, this is very important to have specific goals. This is where concepts like SMART goals and things like that come in handy. For example, this is a fictional example. These are not my exact business goals. So in business, you could set a goal like over $500,000 in profit in the business at 80% profit margins by the end of the year. This is a very specific goal and very crucially with an end goal. If you word your goals, your one big yearly goal in your business, that way, what happens is you have much more clarity, because the truth is this: most entrepreneurs, even the high performers, struggle with setting clear goals. They might have goals like, 1 million a year business. This is not specific enough. In this example here, you know exactly you want to have $500,000 profit at 80% profit margins and by the end of the year. This statement alone implies certain characteristics. Like, for example, like if you say 80% profit margins, this is very clear because there's a huge difference between profit and just revenue. Now, the point here is the more specific you get, the easier is it to achieve your goals. In this statement, there's no ambiguity. Now, in business and in certain health goals, it's very easy because to set these mathematical goals, which I call. On the other hand, for example, if you have family or relationship goals, we can't quantify it like that. In health, also many entrepreneurs struggle. They say like, I want to build muscle by the end of the year. Like how much muscle? Like how much fat do you want to shred? And so on. For example, you could say if your goal is to shred fat, you could set one like eat a clean diet 5 times every week by the end of the year. This is very clear and it is action-based. Now, I don't want to delve too much into this. I'm planning a future video on this where you know exactly how to set goals. So with that said, once you set 4 to 5 big goals in each area of your life, and this alone should give you incredible clarity and certainty, then we have what I call skills and traits. So I talked about the importance of identity before. Now we get very granular and specific. Here is where you basically sculpt your new identity. Don't let this page overwhelm you. These are some examples of my previous vision. And ideally, so what you want to do is to think about 5 character traits that you want to embody. Like those things will move you closer to your goals. And essentially, you just want to become this kind of person. So for me, for example, truth is very important. Hamza is truthful and seeks the truth to the best of his ability. Now, these statements are written in a specific way. I won't get too deep into this because this video, I think, is quite dense, and I will probably make a future video on how to really sculpt your identity. But it's very similar to affirmations. You want to have positive and certain wording. Some of those examples, as you can, as I'm zoom it a bit in, might seem hyperbolic, narcissistic, or really over the top, okay? They're specifically designed to that. It's very similar to when you are setting your vision and your lifestyle goals. You have to become a little bit delusional. Now, the way our brain works is essentially it optimizes for survival and what we already know, like comfort. This is why you want to tilt your brain to the specific future that you want to experience. This is why those sometimes hyperbolic statements are very useful. There's a lot of nuance and detail. I won't go into this. Just take it as they are and use it for your own. So, for example, the trait patience is very important for me because I typically am impatient with my goals. Because I lack that, I try to embody this trait by saying Hamza is incredibly patient with his goals. Now, I look at my vision document once a day. Of course, I don't go through every single line and read them out or conceptualize them. I do them as they fit. For example, if I feel self-doubt or not having this certainty that I usually have, I will use something like powerful, like Hamza is extremely certain and has a powerful yet gentle aura. I read out these statements in the morning so to really embody this trait and then pair it with action. Now, in the skill section, you can also see they're worded very clearly and powerfully. So take them again as they are, and let's move on to the last page. After you have defined your neuro identity, what you want to do is to create specific affirmations for them. Now, affirmations are a controversial topic, and some people are skeptical if they work. I was before, but throughout the years, I've experimented with a lot, and I've looked at the actual research on the effectiveness of affirmations. And if you do it in a certain way, they are very valid and extremely powerful tool. Even a word tool, I admit that. It's very strange to say some statements and then do some kind of mental stuff. A little secret here, the most successful entrepreneurs that I know in the online space, all of them do some kind of mental work like this. Maybe it's affirmations or visualizations, and we'll get into this. Now, practically speaking, if we take the example of before, the way you want to word affirmations is, there are a few key rules. Number one, make them in the present tense. Never state affirmations in the future, like I will have a successful business, or I will be a great public speaker, or I will be a great sales closer, or whatever your goal is. The key is to state it in a present tense, as it is happening right now. And the other key, which is validated by the latest research on brain, is to make them action-based. Instead of saying, I will have this, you could say, every step I take in my business is bringing me closer to my $500,000 profit goal. My profit margins are above 80%, and I love seeing the growth and impact of my work. So, as you can see, this is a very positive statement, and it is also action-based. Every step that I take in my business. There are certain linguistic formulas and sequences that you can use. If we scroll down, you can just make a screenshot and do it for yourself then. But you can see every step, every day is growing, are getting. So it's a continuous way. And why this works is your brain really doesn't know the difference between what is real or what is vividly imagined. What we do with affirmations, I personally do 4 to 5 affirmations every morning. I look at it, I say the statement, I don't say the statement aloud anymore. I just read it, and then I mentally visualize the statement happening. For example, let's say your goal is a $500,000 profit, and when you're saying this, you can really imagine taking the specific actions for the day. Another key aspect to make affirmations very effective is to make them based on a specific problem that you're facing. A problem can be like a specific skill that you have to develop, or a specific goal that you have within your big goal. So you can see, I don't read this out. I have many examples in different areas of life. You can see one of health, relationships. But the key is you want to do this ideally once a day, 4 to 5 affirmations, and just visualize really happening. What happens is, the more you do this, once it becomes a regular habit, what happens is your brain really starts to connect those pathways. It is a very complex thing, but essentially what happens is, in your brain you have neurons. These are small little things that make up the brain, and when you repeat an action, what happens is certain neurons fire together, and then it gets easier to take those actions. What happens is your brain will, first of all, recognize that this is important, this is where this person is focusing on, and it will control your perception and your focus more to the area where you want to go. This is really how you absolutely change yourself. And a little secret here, the most successful online entrepreneurs, I'm not saying names, they all do some kind of mental work. So this is not an argument about trying to persuade you to do mindset stuff. It can get weird. It can get weird when you go to the mirror, shout something, or you do some hypnosis stuff. But if you do just read out the statement and then really visualize it, a lot of things can happen. This is not excluding action. Action is way more important, but the mental priming and rehearsing, what is called scientifically, is extremely powerful. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit so that you can take a screenshot. I think this is self-explanatory. And yeah, this is the system. These are the 5 pages. This is the live vision system that is extremely powerful. This is one of like my secret sauces. And I have to give credit also to Sam Ovens, John Assaraf, and John DeMartini. I've learned from them a lot of things. And I've also synthesized this framework, okay? So if you want to recreate this system, it is quite simple. I've used the Google slide, and you can, I think you're smart enough. You can just recreate the structure and do it as you will. You see the design structure, you can feel free to design as you want it, but the system and the sequence, I highly recommend you to replicate and see what happens in your business and life, how your clarity, your fulfillment, and your bank account grows sustainably, hopefully. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to scale your online business to 30K to 100K a month or even more, and you know that primarily you are the limiting factor and not a lack of business system or strategy because your mindset is preventing you, then I invite you to book a free consultation with me in the link in the description box below. In this consultation, we go over your business and your personal life. I will give you advice and we'll see if we are fit to work together to scale your business. Thank you for watching this video and I see you in the next one.